he was the coach for 13 years at Garden State as an assistant coach and a head coach and director of golf. And he led his Cavaliers to 51 team victories, including 3 straight NJCAA Division II national championships from 2005 to 2007, and 12 consecutive regional championships from 2003 to 2014. That's pretty good. He finished inside the top 5 of their national championship 7 times, excuse me. His players earned 35 All-American honors, and in 2005 he had the individual champions, a man named Brett Witcher, who was coming to Georgia, but I couldn't get him to pass English. So I sent him down there to Darwin, but he was a good player. And then he also had Bill Jones III, who won a national championship as well. He was the first ever NJCAA Division II Dave Williams Coach of the Year award. And he is from Toccoa, Georgia. Please welcome Dale Dover.
Here it is. Before you say anything, I'm not standing in a foxhole. I showed up tonight because when they announced that
We gotta move you.
I was going to be inducted, that I was going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, Ben Rickey called Jamie Howard, and they had me down as deceased. So I wanted to show up tonight so make sure everybody knew that I had not yet go back and talk about, the getting started in coaching golf. My original profession was teaching and coaching. I was a football coach, baseball coach, and I taught history. And I applied those principles when I started coaching golf. It was about structure, discipline. And we were, there weren't any earrings on my players, they didn't have any long hair. And, we all looked alike. And we had a structured program. We did every week we did the same thing over and over and over and over and over. Played the score 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And Tuesday and Thursday we ran some short game for 3 hours, and I was there for all of it. We didn't have the same rules that you guys got in Division One. But I had a couple of things. Coach Helper, I want to mention a couple of things about him. What didn't take me long to realize that if you're going to win some golf tournaments, that you have to have some players. So I started following Coach Hack, Coach Helper around, and so I called Coach Helper one day on the phone, and I don't know if he knew this, but after my first year as a head coach, we've been at Masters. We were in the last group that year. And I said, Coach, you know any players that you guys have, that you've been recruiting and looking at may not be qualified for you? And he said, I'm going to give you one name. And he said, that's Brent Witcher. He sort of said, hung up the phone. So I had to go find Brent Witcher. And it turned out Brent Witcher was led us to 2 national championships. He won 9 titles in 2 years, individual titles in 2 years. He was a medalist at the national championship, runner-up at another national championship. That's the one that Hack is talking about, that needed to be mixed in there with Russell Henley and English and Harmon. That would have been that team. But anyways, so he sort of got me jump started in that area. Another story about Coach Helper, I'll bring this up. This guy's an icon. He's an icon in coaching. You people are going to miss him greatly after this year. I hope everybody knows what kind of career he's had. But he's got a dry sense of humor. You know, he's always had a dry sense of humor. We had state junior one year. We've been out walking the course, and he's sitting over there on the concrete bench, and I think we were up in Augusta. I went over and sat down about him. We got to start talking about his players. You know, all his players again. We started talking about Kuchar, and you know, and I used to name a bunch of these other guys that were playing with him on that team. I said, Coach, did you win the national championship with those players? He said, no. I said, well, you know what? They should have fired your ass. And you know what he said? He said, you're probably right. But anyway, y'all, it's a tremendous honor to be selected for the GCAA Hall of Fame. And I greatly accept this honor on behalf of all the players that played at Darton College, which doesn't exist anymore. It came through our program, as well as the many individuals who supported us in that area of the country. I was a part-time coach. They hired me as a part-time coach. I lived in Little, Georgia, and Albany is about 34 miles to the golf courses. And I would travel every day back and forth to the golf course. I'd get up. We owned the insurance business. After I got out of coaching, I got the insurance business. And my daughter and son-in-law, they owned that one. And we would, I'd travel up there. Most days I ate lunch in the car. Stay up there from 12:30, 1 o'clock till about dark. Come back home, we did it over and over 5 days a week. But it was a labor of love, and as a part-time employee at college, also, a lot coaches do it for a lot of different reasons. I did it for the money. My first job is when they hired me as a head coach. I didn't help any young man up there. They paid me $4,500. I was making $4,500 the first year we won the national championship. So I did it for the money. And it really required the unwavering support of my wife, Janine, who's not here with us tonight. She's had some medical issues. She couldn't be here, but she's an awesome player.
She's the best.
And my family. And I'm deeply thankful for the sacrifices that they made and believed in what we were trying to build at Darton College. We were also fortunate to have the incredible backing from the greater Albany area community and the local golf courses. I had free run to the 4 golf courses in Albany, Georgia. We could play every one of them. So it was an attraction there. I mean, we had fear, and the people there they fell in love with the golf team. So we sort of owned Albany, Georgia. The golf team did, and it really worked out great. We had all of our kids. I don't think Coach Hack next to you. All of our players that played for me at Darton, that wanted to continue their education and their career at another college, I was able to place them at all of them didn't want to play that team. But all of them that wanted to play, we were able to place them. I'd also like to recognize my family. When they announced that I was going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, I said, now look, I'm going to send you this. This what they said, but I don't want you to feel like you're obligated to go. This, first thing they said is, we going, Daddy. And so I'd like to recognize them, my daughter, Deej, and her husband, John, my son, Deke, who is a Dale Jr., and his wife, Emily, and my their two children, my two youngest grandchildren, Abigail and William. And I'm gonna tell you about William. You need to go and start recruiting William. Because he's gonna be a good one. So you might as well put him on your list. You younger coaches, you better start looking at it now. I'd like to extend my sincere thanks to my friend and longtime competitor, Jamie Howell, for nominating me for this honor, to Ben Rickett, and this nominating committee, selection committee for recognizing our program for this prestigious honor. Being inducted into the GCA Hall of Fame is one of the highest distinctions in our association. It honors individuals who have made lasting and exceptional contributions to the game, to their athletes, and to the coaching community. This recognition goes beyond wins and accolades. It celebrates integrity, leadership, and the positive influence each inductee has had on the sport and the people around them. Hall of Fame members embody the very best of what the GCA represents: excellence, dedication, and a lifelong commitment to growing the game of golf. I'm proud and humbled to be counted among you fellows. Thank you.